They just want you to sit in your chair and go, hip hip hooray for the Western press and the Western narrative. Regurgitating the same old, same old, same old every single day without question. Please watch the first two episodes, the second series. Look at that.
Absolutely fascinating.
And it was the first time the Beatles had really stopped being semi-professional almost.
Good evening, everyone. It's history tonight, but one of these lads, Build, and I know where everybody's concerned after last night. Good evening, Frank. I hope you're doing okay. I'm sending my best to you. And he carries on. This is Bill Clopper statue. I know it's a history show, but is it okay if we speak a little about Liverpool tonight? Okay. I'll give you, we're all Reds on here. We're all concerned, every single one of us after last night's dreadful performance. But it's not the kids, it's the manager. You have to look at the manager for throwing these kids at the deep end. And I had my daughter down today, and she was saying, Dad, they were crying. You know, so it's all about how people felt last night, myself included. And I know a lot of other people did as well. So I'll give this 15 minutes. I'll go through your comments, but this is a different show tonight. This is about literature, it's about history, and it's about art. And so I'm going to give you 15 minutes if that's okay. If you want to stay with me, fine. If you don't, well, you know, I think you football fans should learn something. I'm not saying learn, most probably you know about certain things, but just think about if you can. Anyway, as I said, we're all Liverpool fans. Well, I think most of us anyway. And he's really shook up. I've never seen anyone shook up as much as the lads last night. I'm frustrated and angered. I was going to phone Anthony today, but I got waylaid, you know, by my daughter, and you know I had to phone. She was phoning things up about what I've been going through with these scammers, and they were scammers. So I was very busy with that. Then I was very busy with the doctors as well. I had to, so they're phoning me tomorrow as well, the doctors, you know. So I've had a bit of it. I couldn't even phone Anthony, to be honest. But anyway, Bill says, because I still feel as if I have a lot to vent about, as I'm struggling to get over our poor run of form and be optimistic about Villa after weekends. I'm sorry about this. Sorry about this. About Villa at the weekend, who have won their last 4 league games. And he carries on by saying, can you please give me some positive words so I can be excited about this slop ball to come in our next 3 crucial fixtures. And that's, but I told you, now I didn't know what the lads were saying, or were going to say, because I know that we were all very frustrated and really, and angry at some point. Well, not some point, we were very angry, especially even before the game when we read the team out. And then the substitutes, which was more worrying as well, because we have kids who were thrown into the deep end, as I said, and it's shocking to think that a manager could do that and then admitted that he wanted to go out, more or less, out of the cup. I just go back to 2 seasons ago, and we were going after the quadruple, and the season before as well, the quadruple. And that's shocking to think that a new manager, that's all he is, a new manager, comes in and disregards cup games. He disregards it no matter how you look at it. The FA Cup last season, when we went out to Plymouth Argyle. Shocking. And so, and the Xabi, Liverpool Xabi, yeah, Frank, same. I haven't been able to get it off my mind's off Liverpool. I'm very worried about the future of our club that I love so much. What if we lose our next 3 games before the international break? And that's hard to digest, isn't it? Because that's what's on your minds. That's one of, not your minds, but it's on my mind. It's on Anthony's minds as well, because Anthony is a Liverpool fan. And it's shocking. We're all worried. Darwin the GOAT. Trent would be doing TikTok lives with his brother right now if Calvin Ramsey never got injured. Liverpool videos. Anyone who travelled to Anfield should be fully refunded for this performance. Imagine buying a ticket plus travel just to see none of the star players involved on the back of losing 5 out of the last 6. Wow. To witness our team lose 3-0 without any intention from Slot to win. IET, and I know that you're waiting for the history, but we will be doing it just after these lads are worried. I'm worried. You're worried as well. You're a big red. Anthony, he's a big red. He's bloody well worried as well. We're all worried. There's a lad who flew over from North America to see that game. Cost him a hell of a lot of money. You had the likes of Jamie Phillips, a fine lad, a fine podcaster, a good red, travelling up 7-hour drive from London in that rain, and then having to go back. I didn't know he was coming up, because if I would have knew that, I would have had him come to stay here. Come here with me. And it's shocking. The Liverpool videos. Welcome back to 2014. And the Northern Irish's era is how I feel. Yes. Understand, lads. I know what you're going through like everybody else. And Johan, this fella's a great fella, by the way. He's a lovely man. Don't want any things. Yeah, I think you know him anyway. Good evening, Frank and legends. Hope everyone as well. The Mickey Mouse Club isn't worth the stress. The real test is on Saturday. Smash the likes on the way in. And that's from Johan. And, he's being nice there, by the way. The Mickey Mouse Club Cup. And Darwin thought Slot learned from the Plymouth game last season. No, he didn't. And I said that. I've said that. I've had private conversations with Anthony, the artist. And we've agreed on a hell of a lot of things. You know, what's wrong with within the coaching staff. That includes Slot, by the way. Klopp would have integrated the young lads alongside experience, absolutely first teamers, and gave them a level playing field. Yes, that's what he did. That's why we went after quadruples. Remember when we got to the final and we beat Chelsea? That was through the young lads as well, and you know that, and I know that. But this fella who's in charge now hasn't a clue about that, and it's wrong. And Darwin says this genuinely felt like feeding the youth to the. Absolutely, totally agree with you. And as Johan tells us, it was leading lambs to the slaughter. I'll tell you what I'll do with you, boys. Let me just go through these. Just please let me go through it. I'll tell you what I'll do with you. Now, I've got a show tomorrow night, and it's a heavy show. If you want me to do a special tomorrow afternoon, say around 2:30, I'll get Jason to set it up and we can vent our anger and frustration and whatever. That's 2:30 tomorrow. I'll get it set up. I'll ask Jason to set it up, and he will do. And that's tomorrow afternoon, because I've got a show in the evening as well. How's that? Let me know. But you've got to say yes. Every one of you's on there. You've got to say yes. And the football flash slots out. I promise, if we find a manager with just a brain, we will do very well. At least not lose every game. Yes. Yes. And Lynn Ellis, evening Frank, evening Lynn, the lovely Ellen, ambidextrous. While you're there, will you please hit the like button for Frank? Thank you. Thank you, Ambi. And buonasera, Franco and Chatter. Slot threw them kids under the bus. Unforgivable. He then contradicts himself by saying he's got a small squad where he previously said he liked working with us. That's the contradictory. That's the hypocrisy. He's making excuses. He's making excuses. Excuse after excuse. I've never known a manager, I've never known a manager like him. And I go back to the Shankly days. I really do, and I'm not just saying that about managers not making. I've never known a manager to make so many excuses as this man. And being hypocritical about it, like what you said, Toscana. He says he likes small squads. Now he's saying the squad's not big enough. What's that telling you about him? It's excuse after excuse. And Bill says, Frank, thank you for taking time and building this community. It means a lot to me. You're an absolute legend. Thank you, Bill. No, everyone on this chat is a legend, as Johan says, because I try to give you a platform. That's why I read out all the comments. And I'm not one of these fellas who, ask for buy me a coffee, or if you put a thing up, a comment to be read out, if you give a couple of quid. I'm not like that. I don't want money off any of you. Not one single penny. You don't have to be here for hours live. It's all for us. You're doing this. I thank you for all your efforts. I love how passionate you are, like all of us. And I love how Liverpool brings us together. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Great comment. During the ups and downs, that's like life. We must stick together and show each other's love, because life isn't easy. Say that again. At least not for me right now. But listen, you'll be all right, Bill. You will, mate. Don't worry. But we must stay positive, because there's no other way. Yes. You've got the right mentality. That's a cracker, that. Bill Clopper statue, that's a very good one. And Toscana, I'll never take it out on players. I back them 100%. I detest Slot. He's blaming everyone but himself. Get rid before it's too late. Now this will make you laugh, Bill Clopper statue. Even Prince Andrew has defended his title better than Liverpool have defended theirs. Love it. Love it. Cody, if you're going to completely throw away a cup competition like this and waste the evening of 60,000 people in the pouring, and it was lashing down, it was like a monsoon. Monsoon it was like. You better pray the players turn up on Saturday. And what got me as well, he had the players sitting out in the teams and torrents of rain. The first team players, albeit that they weren't even on the bench. What was that all about? Why didn't he go in a box? Why did he have them sitting out? Was that to inspire the youngsters? Well, it never inspired them. I seen Dominic Szoboszlai, and he just shook his head, as much to say, what's going on here? I don't know if anyone's seen that. I just looked at my monitor, and there he is, watching the game, the watch along, and he just went like that. That's a great comment, that, Cody. It really is. And the videos, there are people who buy tickets to watch these games on Slot. At least have sympathy. I think what he should, that not have sympathy, but have respect for these fans. And he had the moans, didn't he, at the fans leaving? Why did they leave? Was it a token gesture? I've had enough of you. Not the team, not the youngsters. This is my opinion, by the way. And I was shocked. I've never seen the empty seats in my entire life at Anfield. Never seen them. Ever. Ever. The only time I ever seen a few empty seats dotted around the old Kemlin Road stands, which is now the Kenny Dalglish stand, when the lads, and whoever, they were going home 10 minutes before the game, and the cop used to sing to them, sit down, you bums, sit down. Because we stayed. Even when we were getting beat, we stayed. Trying to conjure a goal or something from somewhere. We stayed. But I think that was a gesture. I think they just sat there like that, being soaking wet, and gone like, I've had enough of this. And aiming is at Slot. That's what I think. Let me know if I'm wrong. That's a good shout, that, videos about the tickets. And he carries on by saying our Anfield became a laughing stock. and Toscana says, the owners should grow up here and get rid now in capital letters. Now. It's also good to get Johan's opinion, as he's not an LFC fan. Absolutely. He's a neutral fan. But he sees football as football should be seen, rather than being bitty and biased and bitter. He just sees it as it is. And he tried to calm everyone by saying, well, it's a Mickey Mouse Club, so don't be worrying. It's Saturday that you've got to concentrate on Saturday. Listen, okay, videos, yeah. And Johan says, yeah. And Darwin says, yeah. So listen, I'll get Jason. Steve says, yeah. Okay, I'll do it tomorrow. You can vent your anger. You can vent your anger. You can really vent your anger, you know, get it out of the system. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do. And there was a comment on last night. It was a good comment, actually. And it must have been out of frustration. I'm not saying who it was. And this lad's always on the football, you know, because I'm not doing any more. I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this as a special one because I have come out and said I'm not doing any more podcasts about football, about Liverpool Football Club, because someone tried to lambast me and they wouldn't get back. They're just these keyboard warriors, as they call them. And I just said, well, you tell me how everything is fine. How everything is fine with all these defeats. And they've been bad defeats, and we've been playing terrible since last January. I said, so you tell me how it's fine and why we can't criticise and why we don't feel anger. And this is before last night. This is before last night. And the diabolical thing that the sloop man did. So, you know, we can talk about it tomorrow. I'll do a special for you. And we can you can have your platform and let's talk about it. And the lovely Toscana says, Slaughter's a fake. There you go. Just seeing his face makes my blood pressure go sky high. Yes, sounds good to me. She's good. The lovely Irene Evans. Evening, Frank. Evening, Irene. Evening. That's lovely, that. Toscana, when the coach stroke manager starts making excuses, there's no turning back and it's time to go. What he is doing to those players. Yes. I was saying to Francine today, I'm going to finish on these people. I'm just going to read out a few more. Francine said, you know, we were just talking in general. And I said, what game was it? It was last week. I said, I seen Virgil's face, and it looked as though the passion went, the enthusiasm wasn't there. It's as though his mind was somewhere else. I'm not saying Madrid or anything like that, please. I'm just saying, you know, it's as though he's in a place where, well, what do we do now? What's next? And this is on the pitch. And that's our captain. I don't think the sloop man legislated for anything. Look, The Anfield Roar last night, he apologised to me. And I'm being honest because he said to me a while back, this is ages ago, oh, I trust Slot, you know, I think he's the man, I think he's the real deal. This is what he said to me. And I said, and what I said to him, I said, well, you'll find out that he isn't. I'm telling you now. He's a very lucky man. And he's got this Eredivisie mindset to bring to Liverpool Football Club, which we're playing at the moment, if you can't see it. And it'll be a disaster for Liverpool Football Club, the club that we support. And he apologised last night. He said, yeah, he said, you're spot on, lad. Spot on, Frank, lad. And I'm sorry. Johan, for me, Slaughter's not Liverpool material. And this is coming from a lad who supports Manchester United. As I said, he looks at football neutrally. The game was bad, but his press conference after the game was shocking. And that's from Johan. Darwin, Frank, I don't know if you saw the news, but Frimpong is out for 6 weeks now. So would you start Conor Bradley, Szoboszlai, or Ramsey against Villa at right back? We can't afford. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll talk about that tomorrow. And I'll go through it. And you know, the people who will be on tomorrow can go through it too as well. And we can talk about that rather than me just like saying it now, because I'll go off on a bloody tangent and I've got a show to do. Well, that's good, that. That's a good shout, actually, Darwin. And the video says, John Mickle, quote, I heard Mo Salah was very close to, yeah, he was. He doesn't look like himself. He looks a shadow of his former self. So I will be very careful and very calm when criticising this Liverpool team, unquote. Yes. The point is, and I've said this and I'll just say this once more, I may say it tomorrow as well. What we have to do, we have to stop. I don't like to say it, we're all grieving over Diogo and the tragic way he went on his little tiny family. And he's only been married, you know, this is heartbreaking stuff. But we all grieve. We grieve and grieve and grieve. We never forget Shankly, Paisley, Fagan. We don't forget these iconic people. I never forget Roger Hunt. I never forget Ian St. John, Jan Molby, any of them. I never forget those. And yet, this Jürgen Klopp, we never forget him. And we'll never forget Diogo. But what I'm getting at here, it's only what you say, what you say in the videos. Think about this. Every 20 minutes, there's clapping. That goes into the minds of the players. And I think their shoulders just drop. And it's got to stop. It really has to stop. If they want to do it, you know, clap after 90 minutes. Think about when he's scored a winner. You know what I mean? And then clap. And then sing about him. But not during a game. These lads have to play and then be reminded. That's just me, though. See if you're agree tomorrow. How much do you think Diogo's passing? is impacting Slot or not. It won't impact Slot because he didn't know him. Really. He didn't feel, like the likes of Mo Salah, all the players. Don't forget, they were there when he first came. And Slot had just come into the team and took charge of the team. And he never picked him hardly, did he? Think about it. So, it didn't really affect him. Not Slot. It didn't affect him. It didn't really affect him as much as the players. Now I understand the pain of a United fan, says Darwin. That's good, though. Even in Frank, your Francine said, what did I do last night? He is behind the kids. If he played first 11 and got beat, he's toast. So hung the kids out to dry, not for the first time. He threw people under the bus. Absolutely, Paul. Absolutely, he did. And the lads have been saying this. And I'm sorry, but this is on Slot again, says the football flashback. Why would you play a pretty much full academy team in a time where we've won one game out of? Absolutely, and it is tragic. And I'm just going to finish on Paul Burke's one. I have to carry on with my shot. I'm awfully sorry. What do we do if Trent celebrates at Anfield and Real Madrid's win? I worry it gets ugly for one of our own. You've got Xabi there, he's the manager, and he mightn't even play him. Think about that. And that's, no problem playing kids, but have a bench to back it up, which he didn't. Shocking. I'm going to finish on Johan's thing. Please, people, I love you, you know that. And I've had the 20 minutes here. But I have to do our show. There are people waiting. And Johan says, I am nobody to speak about Liverpool Liverpool videos, I'm sorry. But the best way to honour Diogo's life is to win the league again, not languish in his memory. There you go. There you go. So listen, I'll see you all tomorrow. I'll get Jason to have us up for 2:30. And we'll speak about it. Is that okay? Thank you. And I know you have said yes. But if you want to stay with Anthony and myself, by all means. By all means. All right, Irene. Frank, everything you said is spot on. Thank you, Irene. And I'll just finish on this. Please let me finish on this. And it's by Dr. Benjamin, who's like you all, the Reds and so frustrated. I just don't get it, Frank, because every club fans were so jealous that we got Slot. Now everyone is turning on him. We can't just throw him in the bin after a handful of games. I'd give him longer. And the point is, well, if you come on tomorrow, Dr. Benjamin, at 2:30, you can explain to the lads and myself why you want to give him longer. Because this man has brought Eredivisie football to Liverpool Football Club. Great comment, Johan. So listen, you lovely people, I'll say see you tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. I've got to carry on with my show, my history show. And I'm going to bring in this great man, Anthony Brown. Good friend. No, he's more than a good friend. He's a very dear friend. Hiya, Anthony.
Good evening, Frank. Good evening, all. Um,
I was going to ring you today, but and do you know what time it was? It was around 10 to 4, so I'll give Anthony a ring. And I
oh,
got my phone, and then Francine came in because she went to the little bit of shopping for me.
yeah,
And the next was then the doctors phoned me and said, "You're going to speak to a doctor tomorrow." You know, I said, "Okay." The doctor will be phoning me. So that was
yeah.
it. I couldn't phone you then.
Do you know what? This is the great American way, and it's a piece of shit. The way that our medical care has gone because of their intrusion. And I know personally myself, and through ours, our Katie, whatever we're going, it's all about money. It's all about cost, dumbing down. It's wow. And there are genuine people out there who are fiercely fighting for what we regard as our beautiful NHS. They're there fighting, but politically they're not getting any strength or help or funding. It's a wind up, Frank. It's beyond the wind up. It's going to lead to deaths, thousands of them. Um,
I think there are deaths that go unnoticed
I
or
think
not publicised. To be honest,
I think you're absolutely right.
and I'll tell you another thing as well. I always remember. I've said this to you before, Anthony. Um, it was a lady consultant, and I'm going back about 5 years ago, something like that. When I
Yeah,
used to watch the news on the telly, and she said the NHS isn't coming through the back door anymore; it's coming through the front door, and it is. Um, I might have to. Look. I could show you what I had to buy because, and this is the start of it.
yeah,
Remember when me tooth and I
yeah,
paid 660 quid.
yeah.
Then I
Mm,
paid another. How much was it? 50 quid for something else to a dentist,
yeah,
and it's shocking. Now I have to. I bought something and it cost me 65 quid only. Little thing like that, £65,
yeah,
and uh, I asked for something, and I said, "Can I get this out of a chemist because I can't get it on prescription?"
yeah,
Albeit that chemists do sell it, so the legitimate. It's not like a drug that a band or in this country or anything. You can buy it, but the NHS is saying no, it's too dear to give out on prescriptions, so I have to buy it. I haven't a clue how much it's going to cost me. Know what I mean?
yeah. No, I know exactly what you mean, and I'm in a position now where I want to do the same. I want to do away with all of F wittery and say, how much for me to buy that? You know, it's on prescription. You won't give me it because you're selling this American shit, which
Stop that! I hate that word.
I know. I'm sorry, but there's
No,
sometimes
I understand you. You're emphasising your point. As Einstein said,
with,
as
with
George Bernard Shaw said,
yeah.
you
But
know, you have to emphasise the point by using an expletive.
no, well, you have an expert who says you need such and such. and then you might get one dose of that, and then it comes in different shades of inferior products that don't do the same job.
Yeah.
Whatever the complaint for all of us. So you say to them, that's not working. Can I have the original one? They say, no. So you talk to your chemist who was in tune, and they said, they won't give you it because of cost. Because the USA have taken over the market with whatever we take or pop. So I said, well, I'll buy it. He said, you can't buy it without a prescription. So where do we go? No.
It's nuts, isn't it? It's absolutely nuts.
It is
And
not.
as Johan says there, good evening, international artist Mr. Brown, and a load of scotch. So we won't be.
You know what, Johan, after listening to Frank and yourselves tonight, my rambling on, I think we'll do them scotches, no trouble. Agreed,
And I
Frank?
go on.
Yeah.
And as Irene says, evening, Anthony.
Good evening, Irene. I'm sorry for my grumpiness. I am not ordinarily grumpy, but
And Paul Bay. Good evening, Frank and Anthony. Let's have a nice, calm, and interesting evening discussion that we're going on about. Because there's Johan saying we're selling out to the American medical model. Of course we are.
yeah, but we're not selling out. It's someone is stepping in.
Yeah.
But
But it is.
that,
Yeah, of course.
that would be the last of it. I might join tomorrow night and put up a few comments, but
Do
Friday
you know
night
what?
is the night.
Honestly, Anthony, I remember Trump in his first term. He said, I'd like the NHS to have the American model. That means you and I think we'd be dead now, especially me, you know, the way with that operation I had.
I told you, Frank, we'd be dead. We would be dead.
Exactly. There's a film, you know that I do films, don't you?
Yeah, love it.
There's a film, watch it, people. And it's only what we're talking about. Honestly, it's only what we're talking about. And it's called Heist. And Robert De Niro's in it. And Jeffrey Dean. Is it Stanton? Morgan. Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Good actor. It's called Heist, and that big fella, Dave Batistuta, or whatever his name is. Did it, and it's good. It's a good film. But you'll see why they want the heist, or one of them wants the heist. Just watch it.
Wow. Will do.
And the Snapey says, about 8 months ago, I had to pay that. Is that 1,400 quid for a chrome plate for my denture? Oh, go away. The plastic one supplied by the air kept splitting when I bit on. Even false teeth have inbuilt adolescence now. Obsolescence, I'm sorry, not adolescence. Obsolescence.
It's absolutely insane and disgusting. Maybe it's just weird. I haven't seen a dentist, Lainey and I, for 22 years. Not because we don't want one or need one, we do. But there is no NHS dentists.
No, there isn't.
We can't afford 80 or 120 quid a pop.
No. And as I said, you know, when I went in and they said that's going to cost you six. Still got the receipt. You know, because if it's older person, that cost me, you know, £660.
Yeah.
I'll just say they had is the receipt there. And that's what it says. That's what it is. Anyway, Anthony, literature and the arts
And the beauty of it.
and the beauty of it. And the beauty of it is no matter what you read, no matter what you look at, whether it's prose or poetry or even a play or even a piece of music, because, you know, music, you know, when I hear music, it brings back memories.
Yeah.
It just brings back memories. I was listening to the Small Faces today,
Yeah.
and incredible. And you just drift back. I did to when they were there. The Beatles were there.
You do?
Everybody was there. The Stones, everybody, even, and they had these bands on that, and I thought, I've never heard of them. And yet, when I heard the music, I thought, blimey, you know, you don't even know because the one-hit wonders, you know, they just come out with a song and, you know, then just disappear. But you remember the tune, and it's a good tune.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? And I was listening today, and, you know, when someone mentions something, I'm just getting to my point. When someone mentions a poem, for example, you know, the likes of you or the likes of me mentioning it to you, you say, well, I haven't heard that for a very long time. And you seem to forget about it, if you know what I mean. You know, in your mind.
Yeah.
It's like My Last Duchess, for example.
Yeah.
Robert Browning.
Yeah.
And these are true stories.
Yeah.
True stories. And you've only got to look at the title. My Last Duchess.
Yeah.
So the title hits you by saying, well, his last Duchess. So he could have had more Duchesses before.
Yes. How many?
And that's exactly.
Exactly. That's a beautiful parallel to music.
Yeah.
Because it's an emotive thing. It hits you. Oh, bang on. And if it's something that you feel deeply, do you remember it forever? Whether it's words or whether it's music or whatever, whether it's instrumental music. You know, you've talked quite often on the beauty of classical music or operatic music that you grew up with, because immediately it puts you in a place. You remember when you were 7 or 6 or 16 or whatever. And that's the beauty of all of the emotions working on music, on literature, on art. You see something and it takes you to a place. So whatever goes on, and I know, believe me, I know today is a horrendous day for LFC fans, and for that kind of turmoil that goes on in life, which hopefully doesn't happen so often, but it's in times like that that the only way out of that is to take the old expression, and I'm not meaning to dumb anything down, is to take your mind off it, or to be connected to something else. And that's the beauty of literature, art.
It is. Yeah, it is. Even a painting.
Yes.
Even a painting, you know, that's it. In the Walker Gallery, for example, my favourite painting is, I don't know who it's by. I did know, forget now. and it's a massive canvas, and it's moonlit, and the colour of the moonlight is absolutely stunning, and
Yeah.
it's taken inside. You know, the moon is shining onto an abbey that's been destroyed. You know, during the Civil War, because they're going around destroying abbeys, and it's absolutely stunning. And that I'm telling you what this reminded me of, and it's a part of history, obviously, and it reminded me not of the Civil War, but it reminded me of the bombed out church, St. Luke's.
The destruction.
Yes, destruction. Yeah, you know, so there are little things that,
Yeah.
you know,
That's,
whether it's, sorry, go
yeah.
on.
No, that's a powerful image to carry around, isn't it?
Yeah,
That idea that destruction can look beautiful from a different angle. But um, I I thought you were gonna say your favorite picture in the Walker, which is a glorious place. And at the moment, they just started a um, Joseph Mallard William Turner
oh,
exhibition.
yeah,
So we are going to get there if you fancy it. Later, you pick us up
yeah,
and we go. We'll go
got
and
it,
see. Um,
got it.
but I really thought you were going to mention the um, the death of Nelson, which is the long.
Yeah, yeah, I always look at that.
That's
I'll tell you my favourite painting when I was a boy, and I used to bunk off school,
yeah,
and I used to go, and I used to just stand by the rail looking up at this beautiful painting of Samson and Delilah.
yeah.
And it's right above the stairs. I was just sitting there looking like that. And you see Delilah in all their finery, if you know what I mean. That was
No,
my favourite painting as a boy. And I still
I'd
look at
say
it, you know, when I come in, you know.
same. But like Johan had said, and I am saying, and I've said before, that you weren't bunking off to have a bag of chips on a park bench sneakily. Everything we see and everything we read is beneficial, it's educational. But I always loved the enormity of the walker when we were kids, when we were tiny tots, like, you know, 3.5
Yeah,
foot, 4 foot, and they'd walk up the stairs and everything was massive. They'd walk up. For me, the one was the portrait of Napoleon on the, I think it's on the first
yeah,
um, staircase as you go up.
yes,
And I'd say
yeah,
to my dad, who's that? And he'd say, that's Napoleon. Okay. And then I'd stay with me even now with Lady. When, not that we've been there for a while, but when we go, I think, as you described with music before, it's the enormity of these things, the beauty of them, and the enormity of them. Why, why would something stay with us for all these years? Because we're absolutely gobsmacked. Is a term I don't normally use, but we're gobsmacked by what we see or hear. We are, wow.
exactly. Absolutely right, you know. And Bella says here, Buonasera, Franco and Anthony and Chateau. Hope you're all well. Yes, we are,
We
Bella.
are.
We are.
Good
Um,
evening, Bell.
Johan says nostalgia, whether it'll be through sight, sound, taste, smell, or sensation, is revisiting when you once felt. Isn't that brilliant? Alive.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of I vowed never to go old, Johan. I grow older, but there's a quote, and we can't. Frank and I talked about this privately, and we can't trace the owner of the quote, but it's basically about, as we grow older, never lose your curiosity or the impulse to be wowed by these things, because life is a learning process.
It is a learning process. It is a learning process, and we learn something new every single day. And once we learn something new every single day, we can. I'm trying to think of I'm trying to think of a quote, and it's by Freud. Oh, what is it? The more perfect a person on the outside, the more demons they have on the inside. I think I've got it right.
Yeah,
The more perfect, and we can see perfection as we think in people.
yeah,
We can see perfection as we see in the arts. Now, here's my point about this. Here's my point. Leonardo da Vinci. Now, you know that he used to quarrel with Michelangelo, and they never seen eye to eye.
she didn't, because Michelangelo really was the one that would have a pop at him
Yeah,
with a scruff bag. You
yeah.
wear a suit again, you never do anything. But so Leonardo was a quiet man. Was a quiet
And
man.
what my point is, though, Anthony, he did this massive painting, huge canvas of heaven, but he had right at the bottom hell,
Yeah,
where all the bad people went. And who's there? And he's got the face of Michelangelo, looking up with
there
an
you go.
angry face, So it's only what Freud said, about demons on the inside. No matter what they are look like on the inside, they have demons on the
Yeah,
outside. Sorry, no matter how they look at, but they have demons on the inside.
we do. And do you know, after generations and generations of us, there's one word, one single word, which denotes that all is not what you see. So you look at someone, and what do we say when we meet someone for the first time in a while? How are you doing? And they say, fine. Fine is a word that means nothing. Means nothing. And it's that what you're describing in one single word. Um, Whether you're raging behind your smile, or whether you're sad, or I mean, I always think of the people we've lost, the greats we've lost, like Robin Williams. Now, he was telling people he was fine for years, when now we know he wasn't fine. I hate that word. I banned it from our house, and Laney with me, so it's not me just going off on one, because it's a mean nothing word.
Do you know
I'd rather,
what? You're so right there, because do you know where? I tell you what it reminds me of. When someone say, "Oh, that's fine," that way. If say like you're not having words as such with someone, and all of a sudden they just turn around and say, "Yeah, okay, that's fine," and walk away. And it's like, whatever. I hate that. I hate
Whatever.
anyone saying to me, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
It's shocking that. But if you look at fine and you add two letters to it, it becomes a whole different meaning. And that's ST, finest.
End
Fine.
of.
End of.
End of.
You know, it's like saying, we'll just say Leonardo da Vinci, and he's the finest artist of his generation. You see what I mean? He's the finest. Yeah. And someone will say, yeah, he's fine. Totally different. Two letters can make all the difference.
Yes. Totally take that on board. Yeah. Yeah. And
it's
you're
good.
Right. It is good. It is. It's the power of words.
There is the power of words. There is the power. The most. It's. You've got to look at Shakespeare for the power of words, really. And then, please don't, jump down my throat, people. When I just said about the power of words of Shakespeare, because this man was incredible with words. And then all of a sudden, you leap a few hundred years. And then there's some words which are exceptional in any language. And they come from Charles Dickens. They just come from Charles Dickens. He's the finest descriptive writer. There'll be nobody better than Dickens in descriptive writing. And also characters. You've only got to take three characters out of Hard Times, for example. You've got Mr. Bounderby, who owns all the factories. He owns the factories that people go into and work for a pittance every single day. Look at his name, Bounderby. Bounderby.
Yeah.
And he wants to marry Gradgrind's daughter, who's around 14, 15. Young girl. So you've only got to look at his name again, Bounderby. You've only got to look at Gradgrind. How the name, is pronounced. Gradgrind.
Yeah.
And he's a headmaster. And all as he bases everything on to the school children is facts. All as he wants is facts. There's no merriment. There's no imagination that children should have, that we should have as we read, even as grown-ups.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've got to have the imagination there.
Yeah.
But there's none of that with Gradgrind. And you've got another character by the name of Stephen Blackpool. Stephen Blackpool. And I can't tell you too much about him simply because it'll give the old novel away, the old story. And I can't tell you too much about him. But he was a man who worked hard at Bounderby's factory. He was one of these lads who was bullied, get onto this, bullied by his wife. Beaten up by his wife. Think about that.
But he's got an intense something going on inside.
All the time. Yes. So, you know, you see, the likes of Dickens, he gave you these unbelievable characters. Let's jump back to Shakespeare and Othello. Now, Othello was a black, he was a barbarian, what you call a barbarian. He was a barbar. And he wasn't like an African, such as he was a North African. If you, there's only a particular leader that he would have looked like in appearance. That's all, in appearance, and that was Gaddafi. You know, a following there.
Yeah.
And, you know, a very dark skin, but not a black skin, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And he had a fellow, and he looked him over. In Othello, he looked him over. Because this fellow was, you know, was his major sidekick. And he looked him over, and he didn't like it, this sidekick. And his name was Iago. And Iago was one, this is Shakespeare now. He made one of the greatest villains of all time. And he was called the Machiavellian villain of all time. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So these people who make up names, absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
And this is why, you know, the likes of Dickens, the likes of Shakespeare are so unique in their works. So unique.
Yeah. And then it's like their imagination, their wisdom, their craft.
Can I just go on? I'm sorry, Dad. Let's go on. Sorry. Carry on.
No, it's just that they put these statements into our language now, hundreds of years later, and it's part of our life. You know, and they wrote it as a character or a point to get across for, and the likes of, obviously the first thing that comes to my mind is George Orwell in fairly modern time, because he too wrote statements in his work which became part of our language. Big Brother is watching you, all of this stuff. Visionary writers. Shakespeare, without doubt, was a visionary.
Oh yeah.
And as was in more towards our times, George Orwell and H.G. Wells and the like.
Jules Verne was a visionary.
Yeah.
You've only got to look at, you know, the great artist, Leonardo da Vinci.
Yes.
He was a visionary. And everything.
Just what he wrote, what he stated, and most of it he didn't stand on a soapbox and say, "This, I've got something interesting to tell you all." He just wrote it inside of a book.
Yeah.
His perceptions on a day, I mean, you and I talk some days, and we'd say, did you see that or did you hear that? So we talk about it, and he would write it, and then hundreds of years later, people would discover it and say, "Wow, that's right, he's bang on." It's just
Trying to find my little pointer. I can't. I don't know where it is. You should make a big one for me, you know. Excuse me. Honestly, I can't find it. Oh no, senior. I can't blimey. Where is it? I'm awfully sorry about this, people. I can't go and read out your comments. I'm sorry. Where is it? I can't do it. I'm awfully sorry. I just don't know what to do.
well, the magic button disappeared.
Yeah. Yeah, it has. It's gone. Absolutely gone. Absolutely gone. No, gone. Oh, fuck. The mouse is gone. Unfortunately. I don't know what happened.
The mouse is at the comments.
Do you know what? Excuse me, my good friend. I might have come out or something. Why? More wires here down there. Oh, blimey. Having a clue. Loads of wires. Oh, I can't get it. I can't. I'm awfully sorry, people. I forgot it.
Right. Go
I
ahead.
can see it. Oh, yeah, I've got it. I can't bloody move it. Jeez, come on. I've got it. But it's very slow. It's slow like me brain. Got it. Got you. Can I go through these comments?
Of course you can. Irene?
Yeah, I think I saw that quote. It must have been, and it was Albert Einstein or similar quote. Most probably, Irene. You know, that's like the demons inside. You know, that more perfect that was on the outside. If you know what I mean, the demons will be on the inside. The more perfect on the outside. That is.
Yeah.
Toscana. Good evening, Anthony. Hope all is well with you, says the Toscana.
Toscana, thank you. Good evening to you. Yeah, all is good with me.
And Johan says, the more perfect a person is on the outside, the more demons they have on the inside. And Robert Williams is an excellent example of that. Isn't that brilliant?
Yes.
By Johan.
Johan. Yeah. Brilliant.
because it does cover mental health.
Because that's what it's all about. Anything we do is governed by our brain frequencies saying go for it or don't go for it, you know.
Exactly. And Johan says, true, Mr. Brown, a clown is a clown because he understands the pain to alleviate it with laughter.
Yeah. Yeah. So common. So common, Johan. And certainly with music too.
He's one of my favourites, Stephen Mulholland's.
Yeah.
My favourite artist is John Everett Millay. And love the painting in the Lady Lever called The Black Brunswicker. It's
Yeah.
a woman trying to stop her lover going to fight in the Napoleonic Wars. Have you seen that one?
Yeah. It's a powerful
Because you're
picture.
always in there, aren't you?
Yeah. Totally agree, Stephen. Some wonderful work in there. And it's a little known really to the wider audience gallery. It's a beautiful gallery. I love it.
And Johan says to Stephen, just looked it up. Beautiful painting that illustrates the premonition of death.
Yes. It's that whole thing, and we covered it before. And Frank had covered it before. It's going to war. You're not going to war for any benefit.
No. You're going to die. That's what it is. You know, I'm a pacifist. You're a pacifist. Everyone on here are a pacifist. The mouse might be disconnected or needs charging, says Johan. I must be a genius, Anthony, by getting the mouse to work.
Yeah. Give it a piece of cheese, it'll be fine.
And Bella says, Franco and Anthony, the painting most noted for capturing the motions of the soul is The Last Supper, where Leonardo da Vinci depicts the dramatic reactions and inner turmoil of each disciple.
He does, Bella, and that is an absolute mind bender for mathematicians because of the perspective and the composition he used on that is absolutely beyond the scale. And it was pretty much a decoration for the monks' cafe where they sit down and have the breakfast and the tea. Wasn't like a big thing.
And when you see the picture of the Last Supper, and I don't know whether it's Christ or what, where you see a head resting on a shoulder.
Yeah.
And who was that? Any idea?
Judas.
Well, but I was in the Anglican Cathedral. I was filming it, and high up there's a frieze on an altar, and you see the Last Supper, and they're all sitting down. You know, they're all around the table, but there's only 11 of them. And you see an empty chair, stool it is. And that was Judas's because he went out. He left the table to give away the Christ. It's a cracking frieze. It's an actual frieze of stone. The stone that built the cathedral. And the Ambi has got it right. Mary Magdalene. There's a lady who lives along from me, a few doors away. Retired teacher. And I said to her one morning, "Hello, Magdalene." And she looked at me and she said, "It's Magdalene." So I said, "Okay, Magdalene." You know, like to get the pronunciation right out of names.
Bit of a stigma about that.
Yeah. In other words, pronounce my name right.
Yeah.
But it's Mary Magdalene anyway. And it is. Good shout. So when you see wonderful people, the likes of these great artists, great writers, and they're all combined, every one of them. And it's just like poetry. When you get, someone said to me once, why is poetry, small? I said, well, it's a story condensed into a small piece. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Am I right or am I wrong?
You're right, but it's kind of designated to inspire emotion and
There's more emotions. There's more emotions in a poem than there is in the novel.
there is, yeah, and in all the years we've known each other, the the one little bit of prose, and we're getting close to the day of remembrance, but the one bit of prose or smallest poem that is absolutely spot on and leaves you asking the questions is the Rudyard Kipling
Oh,
lines
yeah.
about his son who died.
If any question why we died, tell them because our fathers lied. And it was that written piece of paper. That's all. To acknowledge that that son can go to war, whether he was 14 or 15, whether he was disabled, like Rudyard Kipling's son, who had myopic disease, his eyes, and that's what got him killed. Because when he went over the top and they were called back, and all the debris flying everywhere, the dust, the muck, the everything, the smoke from the shells, the shelling, and unfortunately, when he came around, because obviously you're disorientated by all the noise and what's going on, all the screams of death, by the way, the screams of losing limbs. So he was disorientated and he started to move back to the lines, to safety. The unfortunate thing was he was going back to the German lines, the enemy lines. And he was killed. He was shot dead. And his father wrote that poem, Rudyard Kipling, because he did sign a paper for his son to go to war. And that, like every other father, had to write on that piece of paper for the Ministry of Defence, or, and if any question why we died, tell them because our fathers lied. And when you think about that, it was absolutely shocking. The most powerful poem, really, and the shortest. Am I right?
Absolutely right.
Shall I read you my last touch? Yes, I can't read it. I don't think it's very hard to read. It's very hard to read.
Don't struggle about it. We'll
Yeah,
read it.
I will. I'll really struggle because my eyes, they're bloody going worse.
Don't worry, we'll do it next week.
Can I read The Darkling Thrush?
Yes, please. Beautiful poem.
And it's about optimism. About optimism. And bloody hell, and death. It's the juxtaposition between death and optimism. And it's one of the greatest poems, as I said, that was written. I'll read you two. Let me read you this one. By Hardy, Thomas Hardy. And it's called The Voice. It's only like what we've been talking about, actually. And it's very poignant. And it's just called The Voice. Woman much missed, how you call to me, saying that now you are not as you were, when you had changed from the one who was all to me, but as at first, when our day was fair. Can it be you that I hear? Let me view you then, standing as when I drew near to the town, where you would wait for me, yes, as I knew you then, even to the original air blue gown. Or is it only the breeze in its listlessness, travelling across the wet mead to me here, you being ever dissolved to wan wistlessness, heard no more again, far or near. Thus I, faltering forward, leaves around me falling, wind oozing thin through the thorn from norward, and the woman calling. He goes, this old man, to where he first met
Yeah.
his loved one. Now she's dead. And when he goes and the breeze is going past and he thinks that she's calling him
She's there.
because she's so sadly and sorely missed. And as it says, woman much missed, how you call to me. It's just like the poem I read the other night, to his love.
Yes.
He's gone, and all our plans are useless indeed. So every plan that he made, everything, is no more. It's gone. It could never happen. Those plans will never be undertaken. Powerful poem, that, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And again, it's fired on emotion, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's very much
In
fires
the
on emotion.
yeah, in the writing and the listening.
Oh, yeah.
So it it's like a shared conversation with someone we don't know, but we know what
Yes.
they're going through.
Yes. And the darkling thrush, I think, you know the way they say, all creatures great and small.
Yeah,
This is an example of it. And it's called the darkling thrush. Again by Thomas Hardy. I leant upon a coppice gate when frost was spectre grey, spectre. And winter dregs made desolate the weakening eye of day. The tangled vine stems scored the sky like strings of broken lyres, and all mankind that haunted nigh had sought their household fires. The land's sharp fears seemed to be the centuries' corpse outlined, as crept the cloudy canopy, the wind as death lament, the ancient pulse of germ and bird was shrunken, hard and dry, and every spirit upon earth seemed fabulous as I. At once a voice arose among the bleak twigs overhead, in a full-hearted even song of joy illimited. An aged thrush, frail, gaunt and small, in the blast beruffled plume, had chosen thus to fling his soul upon the growing gloom. So little cause for carolings, of which ecstatic sound was written on terrestrial things afar or nigh around, that I could think there trembled through his happy good night air some blessed hope whereof he knew, and I was unaware. That's a powerful poem because it was actually written for the new millennium. Because the corpse outliant, as he, explained, and the wind, was the death lament
yeah,
because of the past century, which was full of wars, poverty, death. And yet this little beruffled, small thrush just flung himself there and blasting out these songs, if you like. Because they do sing, don't they, birds?
yeah,
It was just a, it was just a matter of time before that lady who that gentleman who was leaning on the coppice gate, he was just there, just reminiscing about this century of death, and there was no future. As he looked at it, and yet that little bird came and just said, "Look at me. There is optimism for the new century. There is."
Yeah.
Trying to convince him.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, as we know, there was no hindsight in this, because 14 years later, in the new millennium, a war. But even there was a war going on at the time as well. This was written, and that was the Boer War. That was the Boer War. And it was sad, the Boer War. So did you like the voice?
Loved it. Loved the poems, loved the voice, loved your rendition. Heartfelt.
It's sad though, isn't it? You know the way poets have written down what they think as a story to be told, which is sad.
Yeah, I think the optimism in all of us is that this crisis, whatever it may be, will be over soon. Better times are there.
Yes.
And that's kind of the story of life, isn't it? Because there's never been a, possibly we in England are the ones that have had the longest reign of semi-peace. Those two wars, as the poets describe it. And,
yeah, but if you look back, there's been more than 2 wars, hasn't there? If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But then again, as people have said, well, why I always thought that Hardy wrote novels, and I always get asked that. Didn't he write novels? Yeah, of course he wrote novels. But his last novel was Tessa the D'Urbervilles, but he fell in love with the character and he had to kill her off.
Yeah.
And he never written another book after that.
Yeah.
He just had written poetry.
Because it took him to a place where it damaged him, or he felt vulnerable. And that is a truly remarkable story, and I couldn't believe that when you first talked to me about that. And you can imagine it happening, because lots of our great writers came close to it. I mean, certainly Arthur Conan Doyle came close to it, and on a different level, but also did Agatha Christie.
Yes.
Who got to hate her character, Poirot. And she thought, I've got to get rid of him. What an insufferable, horrible man he is. And you feel, well, you wrote him. You're writing about him. But there's that sense of that these characters become real.
But why did great novelists like Agatha, and even we mentioned Thomas Hardy to get rid of characters, but also Sir Arthur Conan Doyle.
Yeah.
And he got rid of.
Yeah. The very great Shakespeare, very great Shakespeare, um, Sherlock,
Exactly.
Sherlock Holmes, acclaimed detective, violinist. It's
He's a
because
violinist. He was, and he experimented with drugs as well.
he did, yeah, which was the first kind of written thing about. I mean, in the 60s, it became prevalent when pop stars and our own loved Four Tops, the Beatles, would say, wow, by taking that drug, it expanded our consciousness and we wrote this, we wrote that. Um, Whether or not, I mean, Conan Doyle was a doctor, wasn't he? He was a medic, first class doctor. So whether or not he was aware of all of the effects that morphine and the like the time would have had on them, and the idea that someone who's under the influence could see something that they couldn't see when they were straight. But the Sherlock became a problem for him because he became so popular.
Yeah.
People weren't talking about Arthur Conan Doyle. They were talking about his creation.
Yes. Yeah.
And you go way back to Mary Shelley, the same thing. You know, what is the greatest? The thing that is created or the person that creates the thing, musically or literally, or it's a massive thing. You know,
So when you see these, these novelists, these great writers, the likes of Thomas Hardy, for example, the likes of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, though, when you get to the visionaries to me epitomizes everything of the future.
yeah,
Do you think that when they were right, say like Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, no, not Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, I'm sorry, the likes of, say like, who can we put?
HG,
HG. Do you think he has any idea? You know, not War of the Worlds, I'm sorry. Um, the Time Machine. And when you think of the Time Machine, it's incredible.
it is incredible.
A time machine, and he invented it.
The Invisible Man.
Yeah, he could go back, couldn't he? You know, back in time.
Yeah, no,
But
that is a.
sorry, go on.
No, I mean, I'm just going to acknowledge what you said is fantastic. And you and I have talked about it. And we go back in time, even for the weekend. We go back and have a beer with Leonardo da Vinci.
Oh,
You sent me that glorious, absolutely amazing movie of Florence. And whoa, it's a timeless place. I get that. Other than modern day, we dress differently and stuff. But the 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 idea, I mean, H.G. Wells wouldn't have had access to the an iPhone or an iPad to go back and say, "Oh, right, okay." So it was all in there, but absolutely full blown remarkable. And when I read about him, I was deeply touched by. He came from abject poverty. His dad was a bit of a cricketer, but only earned money if there was a cricket match. and his mum was in domestic service, and she made a deal with the people she worked for, the big house on the hill. You know, uh, can I bring my son with me some days while I clean, and he can sit quietly in the library? And the big house said, "Yeah, okay, I suppose, yeah, okay, you can do that." And that was it for him, the same way as it was for you walking around the library and the art gallery when you were the kid, and me too. It opens up doors, doesn't it? Or it kind of confirms things that we're thinking about. And that's what led him down the path.
And yet, these paths, we're so grateful for them, aren't we?
Absolutely, Frank. Yeah,
We're so
yeah,
grateful for them because it opens up. It opens up a Pandora's box. It
yes,
could be great, the stories, but then
true,
again, they could be bad.
yeah,
Like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, for example, and the experiments with science
yeah.
and
But
drugs.
that analogy you just used then of Pandora's box is it, isn't it?
It
It
is.
is. If we take ourselves back to childhood
Yes.
again, it's that wow. I'm, I still get wowed by stuff now. We've had talks, and you said, "Didn't you know that this?" I said, "Didn't know." And then I go away and do a little bit of research or whatever. You know, people, things, places. Uh,
Do you know, it's great that because no matter how we look at, uh, we can go through history every day. It's like um, it's like what Shakespeare said, and all our yesterdays have lighted fools. All our meaning history. Yesterday was history, and I always remember. I'm just going to say about what Bob Paisley said. He's got the European Cup there. He's got the the not the Premiership, but the First Division Championship cup there, and he's been a few days after winning the European Cup, and the reporter said to her, "It's only what Shakespeare said," and he said, "Oh, he said, look, you've got the European Cup, you've got you've got this championship, the First Division Championship to go with it." And you know what he said? "Oh, that's history." And he only won it like a week before the league, and he won the
gee,
European Cup a couple of days before, and that's history
yeah,
because he says, "I've got to carry on now for next season." You see
yeah,
what I mean? And
yeah,
it was a great quote coming from him because
yeah,
it's only what the great man Shakespeare said in all our yesterdays.
yeah, yeah. That's a bang on line with Buddhism, which is don't worry about yesterday and what could have been and should have been. It's gone. Don't worry about tomorrow because it's not here. You worry about today. Concentrate about today.
Yes, 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 yes. And it's like I read a poem out the other week called "The Laboratory" by Browning,
Beautiful.
and it's
Yes.
about jealousy. It's about jealousy, about a young girl who was mixing a potion. She was mixing a potion in one of them little bowls to kill this girl who's taken her love away from her, which was a count. account, but she was young herself, called The Laboratory. Absolutely brilliant piece of writing, brilliant piece by Browning. And I read
Yes,
it the other week.
it
And,
is.
you see these wonderful, like, poets and these writers, and it all combines with history. It really does combine with history. We were talking about Dickens. We were talking about Jules Verne, and his submarine,
Yeah,
and his submarine. We were talking, well, we weren't talking about his submarine, Jules Verne, but we were also talking about this fellow named H.G. Wells, who spoke about planes. He wrote it about planes taking off in the sky and dropping bombs.
it is. Yeah, he
How
he.
incredible was that?
Oh, he coined the phrase, did he? Atomic bomb
Yeah,
didn't exist. Wasn't
no,
there.
no,
And um,
go on.
at, it's it again. It's a centuries old quote, and I'm sorry, I can't remember who exactly it was, but basically, um, those that can see further the future, further than your your everyday people, are gifted in one respect, but also are loners because no one would believe what they say. I get a sense of
Absolutely,
each shares
absolutely,
in
absolutely. It's everything. It's everything that we're reading. Then all of a sudden, you know, our imaginations. Then this is what I mean about imagination.
yeah,
And how Dickens, was saying about children being suppressed from imagination in the grad grind school
yeah,
with facts, facts. That's all he wanted: facts, facts, facts. No
yeah,
imagination. But then again, it was a juxtaposition really between what kids who were not being educated had no imagination. That's why circuses were performed,
yeah,
because kids ran to these wonderful circuses and seeing these wonderful animals and seeing these clowns and acrobats, and that's all the imagination because it was in real time.
yeah, yeah. I mean, we're
It was
still doing the same damage now because children aren't allowed to be children.
no,
Through education and through private life and through going to shops. There's,
no,
there's
exactly. If you could imagine what William Blake said, a little black king among the snow, crying, "Weep, weep," in notes of woe.
yeah,
You know, that was a child. He couldn't even pronounce his S's. And he was put to work by his parents because someone asked the question, "Where are your mother and father?" Say, "They have gone up to church to pray." The little boy answered, while he was out deep in the snow, covered in soot, saying, I'll clean your chimneys. So there was no imagination for him.
no, and it's not changed greatly in terms of um, role to play. Children have a role to allow them to be children, playing the
Well,
part.
as he carried on by saying, because I danced and sing upon the heath, his king had made a heaven of our misery. There was no there was no happiness for children. He just They gave them a life of misery.
He did. Yeah.
Incredible piece of writing.
And then centuries later, 1970, 71, when John Lennon wrote things like Working Class Heat, as soon as you're born, they make you feel small. By giving you no time stead at all. It's remarkable the parallels to Blake and earlier Shakespeare, that life we haven't learned yet. I think it was Stephen Hawking who came out with a quote about alien life. Apparently, there's alien life on different planets, that their intelligence is so great. But unfortunately, we haven't seen any of that intelligence on planet Earth yet.
Have you? Exactly. Exactly. Do you know you mentioned Stephen Hawking?
Yeah.
He's one of my great heroes. Now, when you mentioned him, what image did you have of him?
I had the image of
the image. What automatically? What image came to
a wheelchair,
and to me as well.
in a wheelchair.
Yes.
Someone who should be in our modern day society kept out of place, but someone who refused to be kept out of place and vowed that whatever his disabilities, they would not stop him. And he didn't. And I love that, and you love that. I know that. That's in part what got us onto literature and history. The history of literature is we are inspired by those that really, by all accounts, we shouldn't know about.
No.
From William Blake to John Keats to, it's absolutely fantastic adrenaline that we do know about these remarkable people. Fantastic people.
I'm going to show you something.
Yeah.
The great man, Hawkins. That's why I said, what image does everybody get? Remember when we did the gunpowder plot?
Yeah.
And I said, what image do you get of Guy Fawkes? And the image you get is only the propaganda that was put out by Cecil with a torch in his hand, gunpowder behind him, and a lamp. And with the torch, he was ready to set fire to that little trail of gunpowder, so the trail would go to the gunpowder and blow up. That was the image you get. That's the image everybody gets.
Yeah.
And the image of Hawkins is this. And this is how he was, Stephen Hawkins. There he is with his handkerchief at Oxford, with his friends.
Yeah.
And he went from that into a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Because as I said, that I've got there as a great memento for me, because Stephen Hawkins, that's how I view him. Because his great mind was still working.
Yes.
As he was confined to a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And a voice box there.
Yeah.
Which was so sad.
What's that?
So sad.
What an inspirational person he was.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
is, I'm not talking in past tense. I refuse to talk past tense for these people because it's still inspiring.
Exactly. And you know, one of my favourite quotes comes from Shakespeare, actually. Plato, one of the great ancient Greek philosophers, when he said, one who is not afraid of the truth is free.
Yeah,
I think that's beautiful.
yeah,
I think it's beautiful simply because, you know, I'm not afraid of the truth.
yeah,
And that puts me in that frame of mind of being free.
yeah,
That's why I always argue a point,
yeah,
especially about things that are gonna. I'm a historian, you see. So I just look at the way it was and the way it was interpreted back to us, but we wasn't getting the truth. We was getting the propaganda instead. And I always remember my old professor, and he said, break away the propaganda. And when you break it away, you come to a wall. And written on the wall is the truth. I think that was just
that's a
great,
power.
you know.
Yeah,
And that's where Plato comes in.
yeah,
One who was not afraid of the truth is free.
it's true. That's a very powerful image as well.
It is a powerful image. It's just like Stephen Hawkins,
Yeah,
where you see him with all his mates, because it's a wide photograph. It's a wide photograph. You see all his mates, you know, there, and they're all just standing around, sitting around, and you just see him with a handkerchief, a white handkerchief, which I said, wow, I've got to have that simply because he stands out
yeah,
with the white handkerchief,
yeah. Life and soul.
the life and soul. Let's see what our people have been saying. Our wonderful people. Oh, blimey, this been saying, Lord, we've gone on. Um, as the Mary Magdalene, as Helen says, our little lambie. And Johan, every word counts in a poem, whereas a story is a string that can weave multiple webs. Simply simply to a report and a speech, the poem comes from the heart. Whoa.
Yeah, pure emotion.
And Bella says, my tooth is aching than to say my heart is broken. This quote is by the famous author and scholar C.S. Lewis.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I hate broken hearts. We've all been through broken hearts. Every single one of us. And Bella says, John the Evangelist rests his head on Jesus' shoulder. John the Evangelist. You see, that's what Bella says. Whereas Ambi says that it's Mary Magdalene. And Johan says, sounds like a lover sinking after the death of their anchor stroke spouse. The poem from Hardy. It is that's it. That it is because he's lonely. Everything is gone from him. And he just goes to that little place where he met him many years ago. And he's still got the image, the memory, what we always talk about. of her stepping out of a carriage in an air blue gown. He's got the colour, he's got everything. And the wind, the breeze that going past his ears. And she's calling to him. Oh, woman much missed, how you call to me, call to me. Fantastic. And it's just like, one of the greatest of all loving quotes, and it comes from our friend, John Keats. Keats. I've got to say it, haven't I? Let's just see this. The story in Franco, the Scouse voice streams Liverpool's past, making its people rejoice as YouTube fans watch the Mersey old soul unfurl, sharing their city's truth with the world. Isn't that lovely?
That's beautiful. Gone Bella.
Our little Bella, our little poet. Seems like Bella is probably dipping her toes into poetry, says Johan. I was told it was either a young lover's game or an old master's scheme. Experience I have none, but enjoy what you have seen.
That too was beautiful. Poetry is from the heart.
As he said it, didn't he, before? It is, it's from the heart. Oh, I love this bunch of people. And Bella says, lol, Johan, me and the daughter love poetry. I like poetry in Italian, and she translates it to English.
I would love to hear some of it in Italian.
Fantastic.
Beautiful.
That is Janty. Good evening, gents. I've just got home from work. I will watch back from the start. Just wanted to say hello and thank you. Such a lovely treat to come home to.
That's lovely, Chauncey. Hope your day's gone well.
This is fantastic, isn't it? This is fantastic. And Bella says, hi, Chauncey. And Johan to Bella, honestly, anybody who appreciates the arts are a patron to me. Keep writing and promoting it for kids to enjoy and get involved. And little Lambie says, hiya, Chauncey. It's great when you greet people, isn't it? And say hello.
Yeah.
And Bella says, Johan, it stirs your emotions.
That's absolutely, Bella. Whether you're composing a piece of music, writing a poem, writing a book, painting a picture. It's all
and she says it's all there, look. Painting, music, and poetry.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. Don't you just love these people?
Yes.
And Johan, Poe used to be an athlete as well, prolific runner and swimmer. Unfortunately, alcohol consumed him, although his death is still a mystery.
Yeah, he was an acclaimed soldier. He went to the military academy and did all that, and he was very, very well respected. I have an issue, although I can't definitely rule out, but alcohol was not the reason he passed. He
Why do you
wasn't.
think he attributes it, though, to alcohol? Why do you think?
I think I think many people do. If you think to when we were kids or younger, and we would go out in various groups, 4, 5, 6, whatever. There's always been a few guys who were not comfortable with the 6 or 7 or whatever the longevity of drinking, and the innocence of youth, because there's all sorts of other things going on, so it wasn't really an issue. Well, as you get older, you're aware of it, but there's obviously people like you and I talk privately about John Lennon, who wasn't a great drinker, or who drank, and then that's where problems would start. He's not the only one. Then you have people in our consciousness in our life who were kind of prompted to drink more by people who knew they were going to lose their control. Oliver Reed comes to mind, and what they did to him in the late 80s and early 90s on TV programs, where they kept him in a green room and plied him with bottles and bottles of drink, so to make a good show. That to me is detrimental to what he gave us in his life as an actor, and it's cruel, you know.
It
Drink,
is cruel. It is cruel.
it is cruel. Drink is going to do us all in. We shouldn't drink. It's going to make you sick. Whoever you are, you know.
Shut up, you. The devil's water. Who called it the devil's water? I forgot who said. It's the devil's water. Brilliant. Tuscana to Bella. How wonderful was that? Those words wouldn't even enter my head. I just sit here and listen and watch. I agree with Anthony. In Italian, please. But Italian, honestly, it's in Italian. Everything ends in vowels, and it'll be easy, really. But I tell you what, by all means, in Italian, it's like Conte Partito. It really is like Conte Partito. Time to say goodbye. We're partying, and the song, the lyrics from that is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Conte Partito, Andrea Bocelli. And when you hear him and Sarah Brightman singing it, wow, it's so powerful.
I don't speak a word of Italian, but I am in awe of Italian singing, Italian dialogue. It's everything is delivered with such a passion.
Well, look, Toscana, and she's so right. The Italian language is poetry with hand gestures.
Yeah.
Because if we ever get to, hopefully next year, Anthony, to Florence,
We will.
and say like we're just out, and I don't mean in the heart of Florence, and you just sit out and you go to a cafe, or you see a few old fellas, just sitting down and they're talking. This is what they're like. The hand gestures.
Yeah.
All the time. My uncle Frankie and my granddad, do you know what they were? It's going to surprise you, Do you know what they were? They were bookmakers.
Okay.
they went to these racetracks and they were bookmakers, and my uncle Frankie was a tic-tac. He was a tic-tac man, doing all this and, for the prices and whatever. And I always remember my grandmother saying to him, well, you've come in handy because of your dad, which was my granddad, because all as he ever did when he was talking, he was gesturing with his hands.
Wow.
And that's what Toscana said. That's brilliant, that.
It's beautiful.
And that's what we'll say in Florence when we go.
Visual language.
Yes, it is visual. They're expressing themselves. And as Johan says about Edgar Allan Poe, they said it was delirium. His mother suffered from schizophrenia, but mental health care wasn't prevalent back then. I tell you what, it reminds me of that wonderful little comment you made there, Johan. And you know what it is? I've written a play, a reflection of Dickens about Liverpool's first recipient of the Victoria Cross. And he suffered from narcolepsis.
Yeah.
He suffered from narcolepsis, where you slur your speech. You slur your speech. And you stagger. You sure, and then you just drop asleep. I think I'm one. I think I've got it. And so you just fall asleep. I'll give you an example of it. A very famous actor suffered from it. And when they were around the table and doing some rehearsals, reading the scripts, he used to just slur the speech and just drop asleep. Just like that. And they used to go, he's been on the sea. But little did they know that he suffered from narcolepsis. And do you know who that actor was?
No.
I'm going to surprise you. Very famous. And I loved the show. And it was Captain Mannering, Arthur Lowe, Dad's Army. And that's what happened to the wonderful John Kirk. John Kirk. And he was given 50 lashes because he was drunk on parade. Court martial. Now, back in the day, when you were court martial, you faced the death penalty. But they couldn't give him the death penalty simply because he was receiving a Victoria Cross a few days later off Queen Victoria after he was found guilty, and he was receiving one of those. So he would have been given the death penalty. But they never had, as you said there, Johan, healthcare. But mental health care wasn't prevalent back then. Neither was the disease narcolepsis. And Bella says, for you, Anthony, in Liverpool's light, where the liver birds fly, a painter finds vision beneath a grey sky, with morals so bold, or a canvas unseen, a scouse brush created a vibrant new scene.
Beautiful, Bella.
Doing that as we speak.
That's absolutely beautiful.
She's doing it as we speak.
I am humbled. Thank you. That's beautiful. Thank you, Bella.
Brava Bella, says Yo
Bravo, Bella.
and Toscana. I've just come off the phone chatting to my cousins in Italy, and I just love it. I find myself using ancestors even over the phone. It's in our DNA. You're right there.
Yeah.
Ah, God blimey, I've got to read this. La pioggia può cadere, il sole può salire, ma qui restiamo fiori dal tempo. La parole che diciamo, un'arte semplice, una piccola luce dentro il cuore. That's what she's wrote, but that's in Italian. What
Yeah.
she's wrote. You know what she wrote about you? God blimey, my Italian is dreadful. A Scouse
Listen,
brush creates a vibrant new scene. Una piccolo luce dentro il cuore. You know? And Toscana says, Bella, complimente. And Johan, but people didn't live long enough back then for people to diagnose or even recognize the debilitating end of life care. No.
no. Edgar Allan was 40, but he'd been sick for many years
What you
with
think?
blood or such. Yeah, he was 40 when he died. Same, which is no age now. Yeah.
And as because what she says, a little piece of dentro il cuore. She's talking about the heart there. The heart from the heart.
Yeah. That's why we do
Our
it.
little
Yeah.
Bella. Do you know? Uh, Toscana to Bella. Che bellezza sentire a possiere in italiano. Brava Bella. Grazie veramente del coro. She's thanking her from the heart.
That's beautiful.
Toscana. Isn't that lovely? So
It's
what have you
beautiful.
thought about? Oh, sorry, go on.
No, it's beautiful, and it's an education for us. Well, for me, more so to be, you know, I'd be snookered if you were Scandinavian, and I'd be saying, Frank, what was that one about?
Uh,
No, but
You don't
I,
want me to swear to you. I haven't sworn tonight.
I, I, I love the Italian language. I really do. And by the time we get there, and we will get there, I will have picked up a few words, maybe from our teachers and yourself.
Well, these are the drugs that I've bought to help me breathe.
Yeah,
And I'm going to go to an acupuncturist about, my side, left hand side, see if they can help.
I
It's
think
nuts.
very good, and I'm going to go the same way over here. Um, our good friend Tom Simpson was with us for an hour or so yesterday. He popped in between us talking and stuff, and he said the same thing. You've got to do it.
We've got to do something, haven't we?
Yeah,
Excuse me. I always get these bloody things on here. I lost you all then. So what have you thought about tonight? Can we just show something here before we finish? Because we'll have to talk about this chap next week.
Yes.
Is that okay?
That in itself is a powerful story, but yet next week would be great, Frank. Yeah.
Well, do you know when I've, you know that I've been to Keats's home at the bottom of the
Yes.
Spanish Steps in Rome,
Yes.
and that picture's there,
Wow.
hanging on the wall.
Now, Keats himself has inspired millions of people, whereas at the time he wasn't widely appreciated. Is that the best way of saying? But the chap Joseph Seven, who painted that, had a short but intense friendship with him, and he travelled. He was kind of a travel companion. No big deal. It was just like, he was going to Italy as well. I mean, this is something else that we should really embrace. We're talking about the greats that inspired us. And whether it be Byron, Shelley, Keats, they all went to Italy for peace of mind and also political freedom and the freedom to write what they wanted to write.
Yes.
Which should sound like much, but when you compare it to what's going on today, it's a big, big deal.
But why is it a big deal?
Because
You know what
so
people... Go on.
many of us, certainly our friends in the USA across the pond, who are not going to be able, we're limited by what we put out. The Shelley's house, and when he married Mary, their house was being raided by the Home Office because of some of the things he would talk about to others and put in a poem. And his support for Ireland, which of course was still under British regime, and the powers that be didn't like that. So in the end, for their well-being, they went to America, and they lived and died there as a couple, as did our other couple we talked about tonight. In that, the Barrett Brownings went to Italy and lived their life, married life, had their child there, and both parents died there. Well, she died there, Mary Shelley, and so when you sent me that video today, this I'll shut up waffling now. This is the great Keats, and this is a life mask. It's became a popular thing in Victorian times, where you could get cast while you were alive. Obviously, death masks and stuff were very popular. The Victorians embraced death and the possibilities of afterlife. This is a life mask. But a few years ago, to celebrate what would have been the 200th anniversary of his passing, in the place that Frank talks about, the Spanish Steps, the house where Keats died, Oxford University reconstructed his face, his image, his voice, and he had this, if you imagine now, we're in the world of AI, which Frank, me, and Jason are not fans of, but ordinarily it wouldn't cross my mind. But they did a reenactment, like a video hologram of John Keats dressed in clothes that he would have worn at the time, and in a voice that they modelled on the voice he had in life, reading his last poem, Bright Star. And I've not seen that footage, it's out there somewhere, but it just seemed to me quite mind-blowing that after all these years, he is still regarded as one of the greats, in death more so than life. The
That's
statue,
great, because he is. And
yeah,
as I said, remember when we were talking about love before, and love is one of the greatest things.
yes,
It really is. And there's not much of it in the world today, unfortunately. But we have a love just here. There's a love that reverberates around us,
it
right
is,
here, right
yeah,
on this program here, this stream. And with this lovely girl, is Blake.
it's about a billion.
Oh dear, look at them two. Oh, we'll have to talk about that. Look at this fella here, Kafka. I was ashamed of myself when I realised life was a costume party, and I attended with my real face. What a quote that is.
What a
That's
quote.
the book of Tell.
Don't be ashamed. That's what we are. Yeah, the photo's not there, but we can put it up maybe Monday or whenever
Yeah,
we.
we've got to have Fanny.
Yeah.
We have
Because-
to, simply because, and this is what he wrote to her. The last letter. This is the most powerful thing ever written. There are love letters all around the world, and people write to each other, which is great. Which is great. The heart. And he was dying. And she knew he was dying. She was in London. He was in Rome trying to recuperate from tuberculosis. And he wrote this. He wrote this when he was dying, as he was walking, thinking. Then got back and wrote this. I have two luxuries to brood over in my walks. Your loveliness and the hour of my death. Oh, that I could have possession of them both in the same minute. Isn't that one of the greatest quotes ever for a love story?
Absolutely. On the background to that is in all the months he was in Italy, he kind of knew he was dying, as you said early on, because he'd nursed his young brother Tom through it, He knew the signs. He knew what was going on. The doctors were telling him one thing, and he knew something else. Um, so he felt he couldn't write to his love, a lady called Fanny Braun. So he ignored her constant letters that came through. And this chap, Joseph Seven, who was his constant companion while he was there, um, he intercepted all the letters. And I think John Keats found it in himself to reply to Fanny's mother, but not to her. And it took her, I think, over the month to find out that he died, and then to be met with those words as you just read. Then you can't even go there, can you? You can't imagine
No, you can't.
the loss of your love, and then that.
And after a month being told, it's just, it's one of the, as I said, it's one of the greatest, because he was a man of letters,
Yeah,
not just, you know,
no. He
poet.
wrote to friends that he was there.
Oh
He
yeah,
wrote to friends how he was suffering and how he felt this at the end. My good friend Frank, this is the last time we'll communicate because this and that and the other. But the enormity of his love, he could not write to her and say, you know,
Do you know what? Do you know how he ended it? Like where you say regard. I always just put regards when I'm doing an email or whatever. And he says, "Your ever fair star, John. Your ever fair star." Fair star. I think that's beautiful.
yeah,
Oh, to have them both
yeah.
at
I
the
think
minute of his death. Let's hope he had the way.
the power of words.
Power of words and the power of love.
Yes.
And as Toscana says, grazie veramente del cuore. The rain may fall, the sun may rise, but here we remain outside of time. The words we speak are simple art, a small light inside the heart. Bella's poem. Oh, behave. He's great, isn't he? I don't know. I'm fucked. Well, where's it going there?
Love it. So Joseph Seven, by the way, his friend, his companion, was with him when he died. And then he came back to England and regained a career very successful as an artist, as a teacher, but on his death, his family were instructed to bury him in the next grave to John Keats, which happened. So John Keats buried next to Joseph Seven.
And Lord Byron's buried in Rome.
I think they are buried in the same cemetery.
Because I was looking for his grave.
And Shelley?
Yeah.
Shelley's heart supposedly is buried in Bournemouth in a grave there, a family vault with Mary and Mary's parents, Mary Wollstonecraft, and her dad, which is all a bit bizarre, but you know.
Well, anyway, the Anfield Road says, even if Frankie and Anthony hope you legends are okay, there's loads of scotches for you. Drink these, warms up the old cockles on a cold night.
Anfield, thank you so much. We will, and I'm sure it will. Taxi home, Frank.
Actually, home again. Johan says, Mr. Brown cares more than you tonight whilst talking about healthcare, Frank. A rare occurrence. You're right there, Johan. It catches, you know. It's viral swearing.
One end really on one, Johan.
Only one. And Toscana says, a wonderful education tonight. Thank you, Franco, Anthony, and all you clever poets. Grazie. Brilliant.
That's lovely. This whole everything is brilliant, Frank. Beautiful. All of our yeah.
Oh, look at that to Johan. From Johan to the Anfield.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Ah, great.
And Johan says, like how many comments about occupied Palestine. Oh, is censored today. Oh. Free speech has gone. Oh. Bella, buonanotte Franco and Anthony and our wonderful family. Thank you for a beautiful night of learning, says Bella.
Thank you so much, Bella, for your wonderful, absolutely wonderful contributions. All everyone but poetry and the next life I'm coming back as Italian.
I'm coming back as an oligarch, a multi-billionaire.
No, you wouldn't do that. You haven't got.
No.
We don't crave the.
No, we don't actually. We don't. And Bella says, Franco, you made me laugh a lot. Then, when you said you didn't swear tonight.
No, I did it for them. You know, that's what friends are for, Bella. You know.
That's what Johan said.
Yeah. You do for us.
And Johan says to Bella, have a good night, Bella. Take care. That's lovely.
Yeah, you too, Johan.
And to Bella, good night. And Toscana says, welcome to the Famiglia Antonio. Welcome to the family. Isn't that lovely?
There's a
Benvenuto.
beautiful
Famiglia Antonio. Yes. Antonio.
You know what? It's the home of arts.
My uncle was named Antonio.
Beautiful name.
Yeah.
I was named after a great uncle of mine, but I never got a chance to meet him. He died shortly before I was born, but I've always loved the name, but I never used it. And it was only when we did the 100 Heads and people were kind of writing stuff and he said, "What's your name?" So I dropped Tony and used Anthony because we'd lost my mum, and I felt that the honour is in using the name we were christened. And so since then, which is 2005, 6, it's been Anthony. Well, strange the power of names, isn't it?
It certainly is.
We grow into them.
Well, I know very close friends and family when I get called Francis.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big thing because we always think of kids when you're sneaking out the back door and your mum would say, Francis, or in my case would be,
Yeah,
Anthony,
yeah.
you're going. And you knew you
When
were,
they're annoyed at you, you get your full title.
yeah, when
Francis, Anthony. What?
you eat your cabbage.
My grandmother always gave me cabbage water. She said it's good for you. I used to have to drink the lot. And do you know what else we got overnight? There was a big jar like that, brown, big top on it, and a teaspoon in the mouth.
Oh,
Malt. Every night. I don't know what it's done for us. To be honest.
well,
I would explain.
what you hear.
Oh, Johan. Thank you, Frank. Mr. Brown and Legends. Brilliant show tonight. Can't wait for the MI6 to spy on us tomorrow.
You probably are tonight, Johan. And no, and please call me Tony, the Mr. Brown. I'm like, job auditions.
Oh, let them call you what they want to call you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't like. I never tell people. Really, I don't. I never tell people what to say or to do. To be honest, I just shout at them now and again.
Well, I'm not going to swear or shout for at least another few days.
Well, I think I'll be swearing tomorrow. I'm seeing the lovely Ambi tomorrow. She's coming down to see me. She's passing through.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's coming down. We'll have a cup of coffee, tea. Then
Yeah.
I'll do that show for the lads to get rid of their anger. And then tomorrow night,
a cup of tea and then on for tomorrow night, yeah?
Yeah. Our Francine did me a bit of shopping today.
Yeah.
And she came down Sunday, she said, I'll take it for a proper shopping. She sorted everything out for me,
The phone?
Yeah, I did get act.
Oh.
I'll tell you, can I ring you up now?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. And I'll tell you all about it because I paid an astronomical fee for a phone call I didn't make. Last month.
Someone had tapped into your number?
Francine said that. And then she got hold of the, who I'm with, my providers. Jason said, you know, he even said this morning, you know, don't answer, don't ring any of the numbers you're getting because they're so real. And I said, okay. He said, you've been hacked. He told me. And then I got this bill. I'll tell you about it later. And you're going to go, because Francine said, look, ah, it just comes out of my bank, you see. But they put a block on it anyway, my providers.
Good.
And they said, you know, we can't like reimburse you because it's been done. It's just mad. Do you know how much it was? Nearly £400.
Oh my God.
And it was to America. Act, someone's phoning up America.
I apologise for my rant earlier on.
What about what?
About, you know what, Frank, there's so many scams out there for everything. Jeez.
Got to be aware, haven't you? So, but I wasn't. And anyway, it's all sorted now. It could have been a lot worse. Could have been a lot worse, to be honest. And as Johan says, brilliant show tonight. Can't wait for the MI6 to spy on us tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll make a cup of tea.
Yeah.
And then I'll ring you. And Johan says, scammers on the prowl in the tune of Riders in the Storm. Oh, yeah, Morrison on the phone call. Oh. Right, yeah. Oh, look at it, look. Achi. We're going. Hi, guys. Achi.
Achi.
We're going. We're
Achi.
going. We're going. I wonder if they've been watching a match or something. If you want to join, if you're not working tomorrow, I'm doing a podcast about football. You know, it's only for the group of people who are with us, and they've been angered by what's happened last night. So if you want to join us, it'll be good. But tomorrow night I'm doing the hard-hitting show, the current affairs. The current affairs. So if you want to join us tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night I'm doing one, 7:00 as usual, which is the hard-hitting one. Achi. And I will be hard-hitting.
So 2:30 is your football?
Yes, 2:30, yeah. I'll let the lads and the girls, to vent their anger and the frustration. That's what it is. The anger and the frustration. And Johan. Yeah. All right, got it. Yeah, 2:30. I've got to ask Jason, and he's not there tonight, but I'll leave him a message. I'll leave him a message about it. And, he's got to, we'll have to finish that one, and he's got to set off for the the Friday night one. Then that night, tomorrow night, he's got to set up for the Saturday morning. The Saturday, the film and TV review. But listen, people, try and watch Heist simply because of what we were talking about before. You know, the national health and things, and big pharma, if you like. So, Anthony, can I give you the ring? I'll make a cup of tea and that.
Of course,
If you don't mind.
No problem, Frank. I'll do the same thing.
All right, mate. So I'll see you later. I just want to thank these wonderful people for sponsoring the Frank Carlyle podcast. Got patent services, please get them in. Don't struggle. Please don't struggle. Get them in. And if you're an NHS worker or elderly, just get them in because you get a special discount. They're fully insured, they're fully time served. They're in and out, they leave your house sparkling the way you want it. The way you want it. And they're in and out and they're away. And you'll be happy. I'm just looking at this. I finished watching The Outsider last night. We'll tell you on Saturday. Absolutely, Johan, because I was telling everyone to watch The Outsider, you know, Anthony.
Yeah.
And no one's watching it. I've been telling them for months. And Johan said, I'm going to watch it tonight. Then he got hold of me and said, on another show, I said, I've watched the first 2 episodes and he's just finished.
What was
Sorry.
You were telling me about a wonderful film which I've yet to watch, about the lady who gets on the cruise ship, supposedly with her husband.
Oh, yeah. God blimey, I forgot the name of it. Dangerous Crossing. Dangerous Crossing. Black and white. The black and white film, 50s. Really good. Michael Rennie. It's a really good mystery, you know.
Yeah, no, I'd totally take that on board. Yeah, we're going to watch that. But it's obviously it's Halloween tomorrow and this weekend.
Yes.
So we've lined up a load of Edgar Allan Poe films.
Oh, yeah.
Not that he's acting in them, but you know, Vincent Price and the like, all the corny ones.
And Peter Lorre.
Yes. Black Cat. Peter Lorre's in there.
You kill my friend. I want you to. You kill my friend.
Yeah.
I thought you were my friend, Rick. Rick, save me, Rick.
And I've got the other film lined up with all of the great sin. I've got to watch that. Yeah. Yeah. Comedy of Terrors.
Oh, Mamma Mia. Yeah. I'll tell you who I like as well. Not a horror. Casablanca.
Yeah, beautiful.
The Maltese Falcon.
Oh, absolutely perfect.
Sydney Street. Oh,
yeah.
my. You don't deserve anything, my boy. Fantastic.
We should be having this conversation. It should be Saturday morning.
And you know what, Anthony? Did you know that Sidney Greenstreet was an English stage actor?
Yeah, I knew a little bit about him, but not greatly.
Yeah, he was an English stage actor. And he was a very great Shakespearean actor too.
Brilliant. As was Charles Lawton, wasn't he?
Oh, love him. Love him. Witness for the prosecution.
Hobson's.
And do you ever see him as Captain Bligh? Mutiny on the Bounty. Mr. Christian! Mr. Christian! Oh, brilliant. What an actor.
What a character in life.
Really. I just love, I love these. You can just get away from woke. You can disappear with woke. Just disappear. And Johan says, Jason needs to bring the haunted mansion back. Piss off, you frighten me. I want to come out.
He does, yeah.
He's bound to do something, to be honest. Johan.
Over the shoulder.
There's MI6. And only Johan, he mentions MI6 tomorrow night. There he is here. Must have been listening in. Hello, Frank and Anthony. Hope you're both well. Just been reading about the Dovecot Pigeon Tower built in 1703 in Kirby. Very interesting.
Okay.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
He's great, isn't he?
It's for sure.
Go live in St. George's Hall tomorrow, Frank. What do you mean? Are you going down there? What are you going to see? Are you going to see the light? I wanted Sophia. I think a ballet's going on. And it's a light show. It's a light ballet. I think it's Swan Lake as well.
Wow.
Tchaikovsky. Swan Lake. Toscana. Franco, could you discuss Charles Lawton on Saturday? What a great actor.
Here you go. There you go.
No, I mean, do your podcast in there after your experience.
Yeah.
Do you know what I did? I've got it on, thing there, and I was doing a lecture there. I walked in, and someone said to me, one of the backroom staff said, "There's a camera over there." I said, oh, "Okay," because you see cameras and what it was the BBC. They filmed me. They actually filmed me. And I've got it there. I've got it. I've actually got it. And I was in the courtroom. And I said, seeing that we're in the courtroom, I'm going to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth about Liverpool history. And it was nice because they panned around, and they were just sitting there like that.
That's brilliant. Yeah.
I'll show you it sometime, Hans.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Show you it when we get together.
Yeah.
Right. Anthony, what did you think about tonight?
I again, Frank, I loved it. Loved being on. I love listening to the comments and the chat. It was just I'm not talking for everyone, but I mean, I'm sure for you and I, it was a a breath of fresh air after yesterday. I know you've got to go through it again tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. I'll tell the vlogs there. I'm doing a special football pod tomorrow afternoon, though it is, Vlogsy. And it's 2:30. And it's about last night's match because when I started to do this, you know, it was really upset and, you know, after last night. So if you want to join us, Vlogsy, tomorrow, 2:30. And that's it. And Johan, BBC need to look at themselves before alleging slander. Yes, horrible organisation.
Establishment.
Yes, that's why, you know, I don't like saying this, but I have to. Yeah, I don't agree with the Union Jack, you know. And people don't realise about the Union Jack. And I'll tell you for why. We took Ireland, the English, I'm saying. We took the Welsh and we took the Scottish. Now there's the Welsh trying to say we don't want to get into, you know, we want, all right, they've got autonomy, they've got their own parliament, but they still can't do anything without a signature. And they're still told what to do. Same as Scotland, you know, they had a referendum if they wanted to get out of there. And so you have that. Ireland, as you know, is being split up. They won't give nothing back to the English. And that's basically it, you know, the Union Jack, because it represents those countries. And the Scottish waved their flag, the thistle. The Welsh waved the little dragon. And Northern Ireland, not the Republic, they waved the Union Jack. And the Union Jack represents three oppressed countries. That's Scotland, Ireland, and Wales. And strangely enough, on St. George's Day, you cannot wave the Red Cross because that's the English flag, not the Union Jack flag. So but I won't be talking about that. And thank you, ladies and gents, for tonight. Thank you, Vlogs, because he said, okay, I'll pop on after I take Skylar to a dentist appointment, which is at 2:30.
I see.
Give it to pop in, will you? If she's going to the dentist at 2:30, that's where it's starting. But anyway, Vlogs, thanks, mate. Thanks for coming in. And little Archie came in as well. A bit late. Anthony, I'll give you the ring in about half an hour. I just need to make a cup of tea. I'm very dry,
Great.
thirsty.
Put your tea in the oven.
I think I've got to, no. I don't think I'll be able to eat. Honestly, don't think I'll be able to eat tonight. You know, with all the excitement and everything else. Because the Vlogs doesn't realise two of our very special guests tonight coming on with us, which was absolutely amazing. Because who we had on Vlogs, because of the football at the beginning, we had David Fairclough and Jan Mulby. We had them on. They were really super. calming the fans. That's why I'm having the super blog tomorrow. And Anthony's sitting there. Sorry, speechless. Speechless having to, chat with David Fairclough and Jan Mulby. Great fella, Jan, isn't he? Really nice fella.
A gentleman. Yeah.
And David Fairclough, very bright, very bright. And the vlog say, "Oh wow, I'll have to rematch from the beginning." Yeah, because they were unbelievable. I know what you mean about rewatching, vlogs. Poor Skylar, she'll be thrown to bed and he'll be watching that now. And don't forget, it's Halloween tomorrow. What are you looking at me? You're just looking at me. And Johan says, when's Liverpool legend John Joe Shelby coming on, let alone Jay Spear? He had to say it gone off him. Jay Spear. Because we wouldn't allow him on, to be honest. The vlogs thinks that I'm having Jay Spearing on now. But I'm not having him on. And John Joe, God knows where. I think he's a carpet salesman now. I think he's a carpet salesman as John Joe. Him and Jordan Ibe. Jay Spearing. Fucking hell. See, he's got me swearing. Johan's got me swearing.
That's where I get it from.
Johan, I know he's a nuisance. Look, he's laughing his little head off. So on that, thank you, Anthony. It's been great tonight. But who do we have to thank for putting us up?
We have to thank our Jason, who's the third member of the band, Mr. Epstein. And we have to thank our absolutely amazing, beautiful family of chat.
Yes.
Who have been right behind everything. Certainly every program that I've been on.
And forever. The poem said about you. 2 poems.
Yeah. Yeah.
By the lovely Bella Italia.
Absolutely.
In Italian and English.
Yeah. I am honoured.
But the vlogs is getting sacked right away. Look, Aspas next week. Aspas. Aspas. See if his corners have improved. Anyway, most importantly, getting back to our chat, without those, what'll happen? Without our chat, what'll happen, Anthony?
There wouldn't be a show, Frank. Just wouldn't. I mean, you're absolutely fantastic in all of this. And that's why I'm on, because we're friends and we connected. But ultimately, the fuel in the tank is the chatters.
That's it. And, I've got to thank them for the start of the show when the football lads were on. And, they waited patiently And that's why I said I'll do a show tomorrow. Because they even said, didn't they? They said, we know it's history, but, we're concerned. And I said, okay.
Yeah.
Did a 20-minute spell. Got Jan in. Got David Fairclough in. And we're on tomorrow afternoon. 2:30. Thank you, Anthony. I'll give you the ring in about half an hour, if that's okay.
That's great, Frank. Thank you, mate.
Okay. And as the vlog says, good night, gents. Good night.
Vlogs.
Yeah. Good night, mate. Thank you. Good night, people. See some of you tomorrow, I hope. And should be quite lively. Whether it's in the afternoon or tomorrow evening, 7 o'clock. Thank you. See ya. Buonanotte.